Job 38, 22 to 24 says, have you entered the storehouses of snow? Have you seen the storehouses of hail, which I have reserved for a time of distress, for a day of war and battle? When we go through times like we went through last year, when we go through times where we are desperate for an answer, where we are searching for an answer, where we need it and we are really trying, we want it, we need it, we feel everything in us is trying to get something to change. We pour our heart out in an unusually powerful way and raw way. Think about it like this. Where did those storehouses of snow come from? They came from the evaporation of the sea and the lakes and the rivers, right? It was all of these bodies of water. That water evaporates up. It kind of goes into the atmosphere. There's moisture. It collects, and it forms these storehouses up in the mountains. In other words, the storehouses were built when the water was exposed to enough heat that evaporation happened. And then the heat actually drew something out of the water, these bodies of water. It drew something out of them to store it in the mountains. And that's what these seasons feel like. They feel like heat. They feel uncomfortable. They feel like we are being sucked dry, like something is being pulled out of us. We look at it as loss. We look at it as a time of pain and tears that feels like it's for nothing, but God does not waste those hurts. It doesn't mean that God causes all those hurts. He doesn't. But God never wastes it. He never allows us to go through those kinds of things meaninglessly. Psalm 56:8 says, you have taken account of my miseries. You've put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? In other words, God knows that those times hurt. He knows that those times are difficult. He doesn't cause every hard season that we go through, but he absolutely will use them. And just because we pray prayers during those times and we're not seeing the answers we wanted, it does not mean they were unanswered. Sometimes prayers are answered in a way we just didn't like the answer. But there's also many prayers that we pray during those times that are still sitting in the yet to be answered category. And we should always have those kinds of prayers in that. We should always have prayers that we are saying that have yet to be answered. We should always be praying for things we have not yet seen. Because when we do that, it means we are trusting God. We are looking to God for our future. If everything that I have already prayed for has already been answered, then what am I looking to God for now? We should always have those things in the queue, right? Those prayers that are still yet to be answered. Because that's the storehouse. Those prayers, those tears, that faith, that obedience, those things are not wasted. They're carried forward. They are put into the storehouse.